Hello and welcome to this special telecast about the new 1994 Dodge Ram pickup. Well, now we're ready to jump full force into the full-size pickup truck market with the all-new Ram pickup. And as you'll see, we listened to the customer. In fact, it was the loyal Ford and Chevy truck owners that helped define the new Ram pickup. This truck is one of the most exciting products I've ever been associated with, and it's the most important launch we've ever had at Dodge Truck. Now, last January, during the dealer edition that originated from the auto show here in Detroit, we introduced you to the new Ram pickup. I told you then that we had a number of exciting new marketing and training efforts planned to help us make this launch the most successful ever, and I promised we'd be back with more details. That's what we're going to do today. We'll share with you more of what we've learned from our research and how we intend to apply that knowledge to market the new Ram pickup. But before we get into that, we have a presentation that will tell you more about the new Ram pickup and how it came about. You'll meet some of its creators and how we listened to truck customers to arrive at the final result, the best pickup truck on the market, bar none.
So without further ado, here's the truck that's not afraid to be different, that's not afraid to turn some heads, and that last but not least knows how to make an entrance. The new 1994 Dodge Ram pickup.
The new 1994 Dodge Ram pickup is the most exciting new pickup truck to appear in more than a generation. Along with its dramatic muscular appearance, it offers the largest cab on the market, the most powerful engines, the first airbag of any pickup, and it provides new levels of comfort and convenience. In this program, we'll take a closer look at what makes this 1994 truck the best on the market. We'll meet some of the people who helped create it, and they'll tell us about why and how it was created. Our story begins in 1987 as Dodge began to design a replacement for the then 15-year-old pickup in production. But as you'll see, the inspiration for the new Ram pickup didn't arrive overnight. It was more of an evolution.
At the time, we were looking at a concept whereby we'd use the same platform to do a new full-size pickup and a new van. We called it the Louisville Slugger because it does everything. Unfortunately, the concept just didn't work out. It made a pretty good pickup truck, but it didn't make a very good van, so we were forced to abandon that and go back to a rather more conventional approach.
We were somewhat conservative, I have to admit. We did a clay model. It was quite distinctly, in a way, a Dodge look. It was sort of a grown-up Dakota. It had a faster windshield, and it had more flush glass, and it was I would say, quite a nice, handsome-looking truck for the future, but nothing dramatic about it. Everybody grew to like it, as very often happens. We made a fiberglass of it. We took it out to market research, and it got a sort of a ho-hum kind of a ratings. Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? And they couldn't guess what it was in the research because we don't identify them. When asked what they thought it was, some people thought it was a new Chevrolet or maybe a new Ford or possibly a new Dodge.
The results from that clinic told us that we had a contemporary competitive pickup that was essentially like everybody else's pickup. The problem with it was that we were only doing 6% of the pickup truck market, and we didn't feel that coming along after Chevrolet was something rather like the Chevrolet, which even if it was as good as a Chevrolet, we didn't think that was going to sort of break the mold, as it were, and get us into the big time in the truck business, which we really wanted to be.
Rather than go with that truck, and because of what was happening on the car exterior, Tom Gale asked us to take another look and said, you know, are you really satisfied with what you're doing on that truck? Would you like to do, couldn't we do something more dramatic?
Around that time, the designers came across this book about the history of American pickup trucks. While looking at it, they were immediately struck by how much individual character pickups used to have, especially the post-war Dodge Power Wagon. In particular, this quick recognition sketch fired their imaginations. They also drew inspiration from the big rigs that travel the nation's highways day and night, the Peterbilts and Kenworths. From these sparks, the dramatic styling of the new Ram pickup was born.
All of us, when we looked at the sketches, said, boy, we've got to do a model of that one. And I think all of us were pleasingly stunned when we saw the full-size Clay the first time. I mean, all of us knew we were onto something. We knew we had something very new and very exciting, and we also knew that that we had something that was potentially controversial and that not everybody would like.
As they had done with the Louisville Slugger and Phoenix concepts, the next step was to show the design to focus groups of truck owners for their reactions.
Those were the same people who saw the Phoenix and sort of said, yeah, it's not bad, you know, I might buy one of those, and gave it a 7 rating or a 6.5 or something like that. But this truck got us 9s and 10s and a whole bunch of 8s, and it also got us 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s. But there was none of that 6.5, 7 stuff, you know. There was none of that, and in the focus groups, people became violent, you know, with each other. That's the best goddamn truck I've ever seen. I don't know who's making it, but I'm going to have me one. And then somebody else at the table would say, you got to be nuts. It's really ugly. It looks like an old Studebaker, you know. Well, if you look at an old Studebaker, it doesn't look like that at all, so we're not quite sure what evoked that comment.
Dramatic styling alone would not be enough to sell a pickup truck in the extremely competitive full-size market, however. The people at Dodge knew that to truly succeed, they had to meet and, if possible, exceed the needs of both types of pickup buyers. Those who buy it for personal use in place of a car, and those who buy it for work or vocational use. That meant only one thing: research.
We spent a lot of time over the course of the last 2 or 3 years talking to customers. We've talked to over 200 individual customers one-on-one. We've conducted 4 separate market research clinics. We've talked to 16 fleet managers who run the large fleets. We've even talked to some of the editors of some of the Buff magazines to find out what some of the enthusiasts think about the truck. So, and pretty much anybody who wanted to accept input. We spent a lot of time with some of our dealers, in fact, some of our good truck dealers over the time, course of the development time.
Their research showed that current pickup owners liked the power of Dodge Truck's Magnum engines and the power and fuel economy of the famous Cummins diesel. They also discovered that while owners of all full-size pickups were basically happy with them, there were several areas that owners wanted to see improvements in. Things like more comfort, more interior room and storage, better interior design, an improved ride and handling, and of course, better quality. Sometimes their research into what buyers wanted was much less formal.
We sent one of the designers out to the parking lot here at the Technology Center during the earlier years when we were here, the first year we were here, because we had over 1,000 contractors working here, and the parking lot was full of pickup trucks. And so I had him go down with a Polaroid camera and take just random pictures of the insides of cabs, and it was just fascinating to see just how much stuff was in there, how it wasn't accommodated, how some had actually built their own wooden custom console units to hold cups or to hold paperwork or clipboards or things like that. So we knew, we had a gut feel, and we had some early research that indicated that storage in the cab was really important, and we were later able to confirm that.
One method automakers sometimes use when designing a new vehicle is benchmarking, basing their goals on what competitors have already achieved. That's what the new RAM pickup platform team did.
150 weeks, approximately 3 years ago, we used a team of people, as many as 100 people, and looked at a variety of other products and identified within those other products what it was that we felt was the best in class. And in terms of vehicle dynamics, ride, handling, interior comfort, seating, ergonomics, all kinds of interior and exterior dimensions. What did we, based on other competitive product that's currently in the market, what collectively did we want the new RAM pickup to be?
One advantage the RAM Pickup team enjoyed was a computer-aided design system known as CATIA. While it had been used before, advancements in technology made it more useful than ever.
The new pickup is the first program within Chrysler Corporation that has been has fully utilized the CATIA design capability. The advantages of that is that as part of the team concept, when we bring everybody together, you avoid the necessity of using normal drawings, die models for tools, and as you progress through the project and make design changes, all those design changes go directly into the electronic database. They are immediately available to all the people that use the design information to execute their responsibilities. So it's centralized, available on a real-time basis as you modify the design, and it saves a lot of time that historically we had wasted in doing things on a sequential basis.
Under the platform team concept, suppliers play a larger and earlier role in the product development.
As part of the original platform team concept, suppliers were brought in at the earliest possible time. What that has allowed us to do is to develop the kind of supplier-customer partnerships that are essential to timely and accurate execution of a project.
Because they're involved earlier, suppliers can provide more accurate examples of their parts at a much earlier stage. Instead of seeing production-ready parts only 20 to 25 weeks before volume production starts, the platform team can see them as much as 120 weeks before volume production. This in turn allows the team to ensure a better fit and finish at a much earlier stage. Because so much of the new RAM pickup was completely new, extensive testing had to be performed, from the deserts of the West to the cold weather test facilities in the North, and often disguised as the current model. The new truck would be driven over 4 million miles before it reached the public.
Another thing that we've done is we've taken several major commercial fleet operators and given them basically the whole chassis and powertrain which will be used in the new pickup under the old skin for them to do some serious, again, work evaluation on the trucks. And their typical operator is getting about 12,000 miles a month, which gives us some high confidence in the hardware and also very rapid feedback on some of the componentry.
Of course, the research and testing and the best designs are all for naught if the build quality isn't top-notch. So to help get the bugs out early, the platform team engineers brought in the workers from the Dodge City complex where the new truck would be built.
Normally under a normal program, your design engineers work with the pilot activity, and we, from a plant standpoint, don't really get involved in the process until 22 weeks before volume production. With the T300 program, we got involved early at 180 weeks. We've provided our specialists from the body area, paint, trim, chassis, final. They're working hand in hand with problems that they feel that from an engineering standpoint, certain processes were not repeatable. And if it's one thing that I think that's going to make this vehicle a hell of a lot better than previous launches is the early involvement of our employees from the floor directly involved in the design concept of the system.
To help provide a high-quality launch, manufacturing also turned to some of their toughest customers for advice.
We've gathered 11 dealers from around the country that are very familiar with truck performance. We've invited the service managers from different parts of the country to be involved in the pilot runs. They will be a part of our C1 program, of which they can tell us at the point that we're building the vehicle whether they feel as though we're meeting their customer requirements. That's the first time in the history of the corporation that we've had the dealer body tie hands as a service organization to be totally focused towards satisfying the requirements once we get the vehicle processed and delivered to the dealer body.
Now that you know what went into the creation of the new Ram pickup, let's take a closer look at the vehicle itself and some of the unique features it has to offer. Obviously, the dramatic styling is the first thing you notice about the truck, but look closer and you'll see that it's not just for looks. A lot of thought went into its function as well. The new shape is more aerodynamic to help improve fuel economy and reduce wind noise to some of the lowest levels ever. The dropped front fenders help protect the vehicle from damage during work use.
The grille is attached to the hood so that when you open the hood, the grille goes up with it, giving you total access to the radiator, to the core. So the guy can hose off the bugs, and if he wants to, in the winter, can put his piece of cardboard over the radiator to make the heater that much more efficient if they need to in really low temperatures. But you can't do that in an old pickup truck. You have to use your hose through the radiator grill. You can't do it any other way.
People love to be able to talk about their trucks. I mean, what's the first thing a truck owner wants to do? Wants to lift the hood. Well, I mean, we got the Magnum engines, you know, and they're going to stand out in front of anybody. And I think our people, when they pull their new T300 trucks, new Ram pickups up in front of the diners, they're going to have a lot to brag about.
There's a popular saying that powertrains sell trucks. The new Ram pickup is ideally placed because the Magnum 3.9-liter V6, 5.2-liter V8, and 5.9-liter V8 are the most powerful engines in their class. Both the 3.9-liter and 5.2-liter V8 engines are also being improved to provide more torque over a wider range. The Cummins turbo diesel, already a modern legend, is also receiving improvements that will make it more responsive and more powerful when used with a manual transmission. But of course, the engine story doesn't end there. Dodge was also determined to provide buyers with a big gas engine to beat those offered by Ford and Chevy.
We were looking for how do we address this particular market. And some of our engineers came up with a concept that, well, we could do a V10 engine. And at first, some of us were set back a little bit. We said, geez, that's really a little bit different. I mean, who's going to accept the concept of V10? They're used to driving V8s and so forth. Well, they built a prototype, and we took a chance, and we drove it out there at Chelsea, and we were all just absolutely astounded by the power pulling capability of this truck with the V10 engine.
In fact, the 8-liter V10 engine is the most powerful gasoline pickup truck engine in the world. A first-class pickup also requires a stiff frame and a rugged suspension that can support heavy loads and withstand off-road abuse while providing a comfortable ride.
The ride is best in class. Probably the biggest difference from the old one is in the four-wheel drive models, where we've done a completely different suspension. We've actually used a derivative of the Jeep Grand Cherokee front suspension, and it makes a dramatic improvement in the ride. The rear springs are about a foot longer than the rear springs on the previous model, so all of the vehicles enjoy better ride, better handling.
It's important to understand that the ride and handling on the new Ram pickup are tuned to the customer requirements. Half-ton models, which make up most personal use trucks, have suspensions tuned to produce a very comfortable ride, while 3/4 and 1-ton models have suspensions and steering systems better suited to hauling heavy loads. Today's pickup truck buyers have higher expectations than ever before when it comes to the interior, and the new Ram pickup sets new standards in this area.
Once you climb in, I think it's tough not to notice that the cab is much bigger than the old one. It's much bigger than the competition. You have a lot more space inside.
The thing that we did that makes it car-like was to have excellent fit and finish, and to have good ergonomics, so the locations of the controls, the logical operation of the controls, and then the feel of the controls. We've got the feel of the switches and the knobs when you operate them have the same level of refinement that we have on our passenger cars, and that we're really now getting very good press on whenever anybody test drives our cars.
It's the only conventional pickup truck with space behind the rear seat for parking whatever, briefcase, tools. We even offer a sort of modular storage boxes and so on to go behind the seat to optimize the use of that space.
We have a combination there. You can get small plastic bins, which you can stack, I think, up to 4 of them. You can get 2 big, long plastic bins that run the full width, or you can get a combination of bins and nets, and they all hook onto the same fitments that are on the back of the cab. So you can virtually custom build the storage system to suit your, your private usage or your professional usage.
Another new Ram pickup innovation, a 40-20-40 seat. The 2 ends of the seat operate like buckets.
And then the center area of those 2 buckets is an occasional third seat or a very large armrest and storage unit, which when you fold it down, it has a lid on it, and in there we've got accommodation for cassettes, tapes, laptop computer, cellular phone, all those kind of things. And there's a foam liner inside the lid so that whatever you put in there, whether that unit is folded down and used in an armrest or whether it's folded up and used as a third seat, everything is kept in by the foam lining and stopped from rattling around. So that's a very nice feature that I think we have.
Sometimes it's the small, seemingly unimportant details that can make all the difference when it comes to pleasing customers.
One feature that we're pretty proud of is the cup holder. We put it in a prime position on top of the instrument panel. Some people have said, why did you put it there? Why did you put it on the floor? We noticed on our review of all of the competitive pickup trucks that every single pickup truck in the picture had 1, if not 2 cups on the top of the instrument panel. In other words, that's where they're used to having them. It will accommodate all kinds of cups with and without handles. And one thing I'm very proud of is that one side of that will hold the big gulp, which has become the new criteria for the various magazines that test our trucks.
But it was something of a surprise to us when we did our research to find that many of the truck customers were as concerned about safety as passenger car customers were. And as a result, we've taken some important steps to not only make the airbag, the driver's airbag, standard on all T300s, which I think was a very important step, not only for Chrysler, but really for the industry to show that a truck can and should have the airbags available and perhaps standard. As the other thing, of course, is things like door side beams, the fact that we incorporated roof rollover crush requirements really in advance of the standards, the fact that we've got the built-in chimsel in the roof, a nice smooth design and so forth. All of these contribute to the safe aspects, and I think that became a very important thing for many of our customers that was really not being met in the current products available in the market.
Other notable safety features include a best-in-class braking system, standard rear-wheel anti-lock brakes for stability, and the first 4-wheel anti-lock brakes available on any full-size pickup to help maximize control during hard braking or when braking on slippery surfaces.
I think this truck not only has to be seen, it has to be experienced, and I hope that our dealers are not only going to walk people around and point out some of the advantages that I've been talking to them, but I think that it's very important that they take their customers on some drives and show them and demonstrate some of the advantages. The performance advantages are going to be immediately apparent, but some of the other things such as the ride, the quietness, are going to take a little time for people to really understand.
In a way, we've got the same ethic in this pickup that we've got in the Dodge Intrepid, in that the minute you do the first 30 or 40 feet in it, you know you're driving a truly great vehicle that is not only going to be rugged and useful, but it's also great fun to drive.
Of course, everyone at Dodge and Jeep Truck Engineering was concerned with making the new Ram pickup better than its competitors. But a current Dodge pickup owner had his own advice for them, as Jeff Trimmer recalls.
So this good old boy comes in one afternoon, and we spent a couple of hours talking to this fellow about what he thought about a truck. And we were telling him, well, we're going to try and match Ford on this, and we're going to do this with Chevrolet, and we're going to be here and there and so forth. And I think he was a little bit put off by the fact that we had this seeming reverence for the other competitors and so forth. He says, listen, you guys don't understand. He says, they don't make the best trucks, the best possible trucks. They just make the best trucks available. And we're listening to him. We really couldn't understand what he was saying. He said, well, let me tell you a little story. He says, you go to a small town, and he says, There are a couple of burger joints in the town. You got Burger Kings and you got McDonald's. And if you ask anybody in town, they'll say that, well, I'm a Burger King guy or I'm a McDonald's guy. But along come, and they'll say they make the best burgers. But all of a sudden, so along comes somebody new, Mama Joe's, and she starts selling these new, juicy ground round hamburgers with, cheddar's cheese on top. And all of a sudden, the dyed-in-the-wool McDonald guys, the dyed-in-the-wool Burger King guys, they're eating at Mama Joe's. And we're still kind of puzzled off. He says, you don't understand. You can't buy it if it ain't on the menu. If you guys listen to your customers and do the best possible truck, you won't have to worry about the competition.
So I'm hoping that the RAM pickup will not only be a hot-selling truck in its own right, but I'm hoping that it'll motivate a lot of our dealers to really get back into the truck business big time.
The efforts of the people at Dodge and Jeep Truck Engineering were finally revealed to the public at the 1993 North American International Auto Show in Detroit, Michigan. The reaction was overwhelming. Here's what 3 respected industry watchers had to say about it.
I think it's going to accomplish what you want to accomplish with it. It is a very strong statement of design. It's thoroughly individualistic in the right way. It doesn't look like a flying pancake. It looks like a truck. And I think it's going to be very exciting to the truck buyers, myself. I think a lot of folks, whether they are kind of long-haul driver wannabes or off-road enthusiasts or whatever, it looks tough and strong, and those are the virtues that people look for in trucks and in big trucks like these. And I think it really will hit the mark.
The new one drives and handles a lot more like you're used to as a passenger car driver. Even the dual wheel model, we drove in Chelsea over Belgian block roads and gravel roads and all that sort of thing. And you never get the feeling that you were in a buck and bronco kind of a truck, which the old one always felt like to me.
To capture it in a few words, it would be bold, daring, unusual, uncharacteristic of a traditional company, but probably a big winner.
As for the creators themselves, well, they're a bit more succinct.
Powerful, reliable, and bold.
A real brute.
Biggest, baddest on the market.
Bold and aggressive.
Hulk Hogan.
Big, powerful, and stunning.
The 1994 Dodge Ram pickup breaks the mold of today's full-size pickups when it comes to styling, comfort, performance, and workability. And it will forever change the way today's buyers think of pickup trucks.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that behind-the-scenes look at the platform team and the efforts that led to the new RAM pickup. And I hope you're excited about the competitive advantages that were highlighted in that presentation. Now, with all that as background, it's time to turn our attention to the pickup market and the opportunity it represents for all of us. 1 out of every 6 vehicles sold in this country is a pickup truck. And over half of all pickup trucks sold are full-size models. 1.2 million full-size pickups are sold among just 4 brands: Ford, Chevy, GMC, and us. No other segment represents as much volume opportunity with so few competitors. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you with statistics today, but we need to look at a few to understand the market. 70% of all trucks sold are the lightest duty half tons. Another 19% are 3/4 tons, 8% are the 1 tons, and 3% are in the emerging 1.5-ton market. Now, to really succeed in the full-size market, we have to sell half-ton trucks in volume, something we haven't done for a long time. More about that in a moment. The full-size pickup market is basically split down the middle between between personal use buyers and vocational use buyers, small businesses or one-man businesses, that use pickups for work. And the big fleet buyers make up the remaining 15% of the market. It follows then that how buyers will use a pickup will affect which truck they buy. Personal use buyers overwhelmingly buy half-ton trucks, except for the few that have heavy-duty towing needs. Now, 2/3 of all vocational buyers choose half-ton trucks, while more than half of all big fleet buyers require the heavier models. When you compare the reasons for buying, you can see the clear difference between personal use and vocational use buyers. Now, the top 5 reasons are identical for both buyers: price, durability and reliability, quality, previous experience, and value for the money. In fact, they're almost identical to the reasons for buying cars, with the exception of number 4, previous experience. Overcoming the loyalty of those Ford and Chevy owners is going to be a real challenge. The personal use buyers prioritize car-like qualities. They're using the truck as an alternative to a car, so they want ride comfort, fun-to-drive characteristics, passenger capacity, and style. But vocational buyers have different priorities: fuel economy, cost of service, cargo capacity, dealer service, and resale value. Now, this makes sense because in order to make money, they need to maximize uptime and minimize operating costs. Warranty is also an important motivator. Now let's consider how well all 4 brands are meeting the needs of today's pickup truck buyers. Buyers tell us that the industry is doing a good job at exterior styling, interior roominess, interior styling, ease of handling, cargo capacity, and braking. Now, the industry doesn't do as well when it comes to features like comfort, quietness, and overall quality. Significantly, the industry is much below owner expectations when it comes to providing smooth transmissions, fewer squeaks and rattles, trailer tow capacity, fuel economy, and importantly here, value for the money. And this list suggests a tremendous opportunity for the new Ram pickup to set a foundation for Dodge owner loyalty. When we look at the SSI ratings, we can see that our salespeople are good at the basics: greetings, sincerity, honesty, but they fall down when it comes to product and competitive knowledge and knowledge of service requirements. Now, to summarize the various satisfaction measures, giving competitive product advantages, quality must be first in the equation for Dodge to provide a more satisfying truck buying and ownership experience. And we simply must make our sales force more truck competent, providing them with truck experience and product knowledge. Now let's turn our attention to another important aspect of the pickup truck market: strategic actions to increase consideration for the new Ram pickup must recognize and address an important dimension: the regional distinction of product mix and usage. Now, unlike car buyers, pickup truck buyers tend to have different needs and motivations depending upon where they live. And we studied the characteristics of pickup truck sales on a state-by-state basis, looking at product mix and usage. And we discovered many similarities and differences. In the end, we were able to group the states into 5 contiguous regions with similar sales and usage characteristics that we use to add regional focus to our marketing. And I'd like to review the 5 regions one at a time to highlight the magnitude of the uniqueness. First, the Northeast. This region includes 13 states and accounts for 16% of the total full-size pickup truck market. Trucks are seen here primarily as work vehicles. Nearly 1/3 of the trucks sold are used for construction, the highest of any region in the country. Now, chassis cabs are also an important part of this market, serving as wreckers and delivery trucks in many metro markets. Importantly, club cab sales run at about half the national rate, and 4x4 and short bed pickup sales run 50% higher than in the rest of the country. Next, the southern region. Now, these 9 states account for 18% of national full-size pickup truck sales. The market here is about evenly split between personal and vocational and agricultural use, mirroring the national average. 4x4 sales run well below the national average, and so do club cabs and heavy-duty pickups. What this suggests is that these trucks are underrated for the functional demands being placed on them. In short, Southern buyers are not stepping up to the price of the truck they need for the way the trucks are used. And the 12 states making up the Midwest region account for 26% of national sales, the largest single region by our definition. Usage here is reflective of the strong agricultural base in the region, and 4x4s run a strong 42%. Now, these trucks are really used as trucks. Full-size pickups are also popular among people who live in the metro areas, representing about 10% of total registrations in these metro areas. In the Southwest, 4 states make up a whopping 20% of full-size truck sales. In this region, the full-size pickup truck is king. Trucks here are interchangeable with cars. People are more likely to have a truck as their primary household vehicle here than in any other area of the country. As a result, buyers in this region value riding comfort and fuel economy. About 1/2 of the trucks sold in this region are club cab models, and the majority are long beds. They also buy a disproportionate number of diesels. The 12 western states make up the remaining 20% of the market. The secondary markets make up a disproportional number of truck registrations, and most of these are the heavy-duty models. 44% of registrations are 3/4 and 1-ton models. 48% are 4x4s, and 12% are diesels. That's about 50% more than the national average in all 3 cases. These buyers use their trucks for ranching and long-distance travel. In addition, they use pickups for recreational purposes more than any other region of the country. Maximum power is important because 53% of trucks are used for heavy-duty trailer towing. The long distances inherent with travel in the West make club cabs very popular as well. Now, regional distinctions will in fact be a serious driving force behind our marketing strategy for launching the new RAM Pickup. It's clear that we've developed a skewed presence in the full-size pickup truck market with today's truck. That's sold on the merits of diesel performance to the exclusion of the other attributes that many truck buyers demand. Now, the new RAM Pickup provides the opportunity to take a more balanced approach, and our marketing must promote that balance to achieve mainstream full-size pickup truck consideration. And we conducted extensive consumer research that confirms we will succeed. Now, in achieving this balance, the new RAM Pickup has product attributes that make loyal Ford and Chevy owners question their next purchase. Our research participants perceived the new Ram Pickup as being bold, aggressive, aerodynamic, modern, and futuristic, all of which are descriptors that personal use buyers look for. But they also gave us high ratings for off-road use, versatility, ruggedness, carries heavy loads, tough truck, and recreational use, all of which describes great work use characteristics. In short, the new truck's image is balanced. The new Ram Pickup will carry us into the mainstream pickup truck market.